like a train?
Yes, a trolley is like a train. I hear it.
I hear a trolley coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. The trolley is coming. The trolley is
Is that awesome?
It haunted us. Yeah, that was humongous. But that was humongous. That was so fun.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, as a holistic nutritionist and a breastfeeding mom of 4 babies of my own, it's no surprise that I'm a huge advocate of breastfeeding. However, with all this formula shortage info going on, I really felt it like my duty to explain what's happening and then how us moms can change it, what we can do to give the best for our babies. So first off, let me give you a little background of what's actually happening right now. So basically what happened is there started to be formula shortages when ingredients from overseas got held back because of all that was going on during COVID. That's number one. And then back in around March or so, there were some whistleblowers in an Abbott facility. Abbott is one of the 4 largest companies that make baby formula for the United States. So over time, another whistleblower came out, another whistleblower out. They ended up getting the facility looked at. Some babies got sick due to bacteria, and long story short, they ended up shutting it down. So that facility in itself makes about 40% of the United States formula. So you can see why there's been such a shortage. Well, over time, the FDA has stepped in, kind of looked at things, tried to speed up the process for Abbott reopening, but that is a whole other thing all in itself. So even though they say, okay, today you can start making formula, which they haven't yet, it's still gonna be about 2 weeks till they can produce that and get it checked, and then 6 to 8 before it's even on the shelf. So that's nuts. So for all of you mamas who are formula feeding your babies, or you breastfeed and formula feed, I want to give you some information that you can use now to help feed your baby. As you can see, I make a lot of breast milk. So this right here is about 2 to 3 days worth of pumped breast milk besides what I feed my baby. So I just want to let you know that it is possible to produce more milk, even if you've stopped producing altogether and your baby's still really young. But for those of you who are just stressed about making enough, especially with this formula shortage, I want to give you some tips that you can use now that will help you increase your breast milk supply. So pardon me while I start packing this up. Like I said, I have like 2 to 3 days worth, and then I put it all in 5-ounce little packages to freeze them because I do send my milk off to another baby that I pump. So let me just get started with the tips. Tip number 1 is try not to stress. I know that's way easier said than done. Trust me, I have stressors in my life too. We all do. But I can say that I definitely notice the days that I'm more stressed out, that I don't produce as much milk. It's crazy how just a little bit of stress can really make a difference. So try to go on walks. Try to take deep breaths, realize that God will provide for your baby. You're doing the best you can as a mom, and there are people out there who can help you. There's other ways to get either breast milk or formula. So I am, again, gonna go over some of these. So my next tip would be drink water. Yes, we all know that we need to drink lots of water, but when you're breastfeeding, a good majority of the milk that you're producing comes from water. Yes, you need the protein, the fats, the carbohydrates, all of that stuff as well. But there's really a lot of water that goes into it. So you should be drinking at least however many pounds you weigh, that many ounces a day. So we'll just go with a nice even number. If you weigh 100 pounds, which all of us mamas know we weigh quite a bit more than that, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, it's 200 ounces of water. I'm telling you, the days that I'm running around with the kids, with football games, soccer games, and all of that, I'm dehydrated, it's hot, I produce less milk because I haven't been drinking enough water. The days that I drink tons of water, my breasts, I wake up super engorged and ready to pump a lot. So that would be my next tip. When it comes to food, eating a wide variety of foods. So breast milk is made up of, and so therefore you want to eat the healthy fats, the protein, carbohydrates. You want to eat lactogenic foods, which is oatmeal. So eat oatmeal in the morning. Include things like whole grains, healthy fats like coconut is great. Coconut oil is fantastic for so many different things. You can tell the consistency of your milk too, depending on what you eat, which is crazy. The milk that I pump first thing in the morning is much lighter, sometimes almost like a bluish tint because it is filled with a lot of water. And then milk that I pump later in the day after I've been eating a lot is thicker. So that's why I mix my milk up together, just so it has more of an even consistency. So when the baby that I'm sending the milk to actually gets the milk, they get a nice balance as much as possible. So that is what I'm doing right now. You also want to make sure that you do skin to skin. So especially if you're a new mom and you're just debating whether or not you want to breastfeed at all, you're not sure that you're going to make enough milk, or if it just doesn't seem like your milk is really coming in yet, do that skin to skin. It's literally laying bare chested, naked baby, of course, a diaper on your body. It's fantastic. It's telling your body that yes, baby's here and you need to produce the milk for him. It's amazing what our bodies can do. They know when you have your baby, when it's time to make milk, if it's time to make more milk. That's why it's so important to do the skin to skin right when the baby is born, and also try to have them latch onto your breast as soon as they're born, even if your milk hasn't come in yet. Just that suckling motion will help get it going. So that's another tip, is right when you have your baby, just to put them, let them try to drink. Even if you thought that you didn't want to breastfeed and now you do, try it. Have your baby suckle on your breast for a little bit, and that'll help. Another thing is take warm showers. So it's just heat in general on your breast, kind of helps loosen up, gets the milk circulating. So taking a warm shower and just letting the hot water on your breast, or even getting some kind of compress. You can buy special heating pads and stuff. I'll link a couple that you can put on your boobs to help kind of circulate the milk a bit. That's another great thing to do. And then massage your breasts. So if you touch them, a lot of times you can kind of feel like little hard, like nodules in there. That's just a clogged milk duct. So you've heard of clogged milk ducts. I did a whole other video on clogged milk ducts and how they're not great and different ways that you can fix those. But if you get to the point that they're just starting, they may not really hurt, but you can feel them to the touch. If you massage those out, it'll let the milk start flowing more, because literally a clogged milk is something that milk can't come out of. So if it's clogged, the milk isn't coming. Just like if your faucet's clogged, the water is not going to pour out. So if you loosen it and you get it unclogged, the milk will start flowing better. So that is something that you can do. Also pumping. I would say, as you can see, I pump a lot of milk, so I have a love-hate relationship with pumping. But it really is a gift. Being able to feed other babies it just makes me happy. So I pump quite a bit. My tips for pumping is, first of all, if you only wanted to pump once a day, pump at night once the baby is in bed and right before you're going to sleep, because that'll just help tell your body and help signal that your body needs to make more milk. Because again, our bodies are amazing. So that signaling tells your body, okay, the baby needs to eat more, so I need to produce more. So if you pump at night before you go to bed, even if not a lot comes out or almost nothing at all, it'll still, over time, it'll start increasing throughout the following days. And then if you want to pump more, you can also pump first thing when you wake up in the morning, depending on what time your baby wakes up. So for me, I've always pumped before my baby wakes up or before I feed him. If I start hearing him cry just like a tiny bit, I'll run and pump really fast to get some of that foremilk off. But you can also try pumping after you feed the baby in the morning if that works better for you. It just depends on your schedule, how much milk you make and all that kind of stuff. Then you can also do power pumping. So power pumping is basically doing a full hour of pumping, essentially. So you want to pump for 20 minutes, you stop for 10, pump 10, stop 10, pump 10, stop 10. You do that for an hour total, and that will increase your milk supply because it tells your body that baby is growing and needs more milk. So the composition of your milk changes over time, and the amount of milk changes over time, depending on how big your baby is and how much that they need. So it's amazing. If your baby starts eating more, your body will automatically start producing more, which is pretty crazy. So I would say power pumping is a big thing to do and help increase. And then I've already discussed a little bit, but let's just talk about foods that you can eat and some supplements you can take. So if you just look online, if you look on Amazon, there are quite a few different supplements to increase breast milk. Not all of them work, and not all of them work for everybody. Some people love fenugreek, for example, and some people think it dries them up. So it just depends on you. You need to try the different supplements. I'll link a few so you can check them out. But again, sorry, I have a meeting in 2 minutes. But again, just if you're stressed, if you are concerned about this formula shortage, which I know a lot of us are, whether it affects you, it affects a friend, it affects somebody you know, there are ways to increase your breast milk supply and start it to get it going again, even if you didn't plan on breastfeeding or if it was kind of dwindling down, so you were supplementing formula. You really can increase it and help feed your baby because it's not worth being stressed. You can also buy different kinds of formula. You know, like I said, there's 4 main companies, but then there's also the boutique formulas, which are actually better, in my opinion, for your baby, but they're more expensive. So that may not be an option for everyone, and that's okay. We just want to make sure that you do the best for you, your baby, and just have them be as happy and healthy as possible. So keep watching my videos, keep listening for more tips on breastfeeding and all the things motherhood that I am here to give you. If you have questions, you can comment here, DM me on Instagram. I'd love to chat. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Gonna finish up my breast milk now.